DEI Hot Take about professionalism in the workplace. Today, I'm going to talk about a very personal subject, which is hair loss. And hair loss is something I've been dealing with the last 6 months or so. I've had alopecia for the last 20 years, but I've been able to manage it pretty well. And it's just these last 6 months that it really got out of control. I ended up shaving my head about a month ago, a little over a month ago, and I've been wearing wigs since then. So if you've been following along on my videos, you've probably noticed how my hair keeps switching up, and it's just been a really interesting journey. And I've been reflecting on how much has to do with diversity, equity, inclusion, especially belonging, and how to make people feel like their authentic selves belong in the workplace. So you'll notice today that I'm wearing a hair wrap. I usually don't wear hair wraps, and I think it's ironic it's called a hair wrap because it's just covering up my bald head. But I still haven't quite figured out if hair wraps are professional. There's not a rule book for this. I've been asking lots of confidants and friends and acquaintances when I jump on calls, like, hey, like, how does this wig look? How does this hair wrap look? I've even jumped on a few calls bald. I was going to do today's call bald, but I wasn't feeling up to it today. It feels really vulnerable. It feels like you're like a little bit naked, like you're putting yourself out there, but you can totally be professional and bald as a woman. And it is something I plan on flexing on a day where I feel more up to it. I just didn't feel up to it today. Um, and so on my journey of alopecia, I found the National Alopecia Foundation, and their slogan is "It's more than just hair." And it's so true, like, especially when we think about how most of at least white collar jobs are mostly online. Our hair and our faces and like here up, that's all we got when it comes to how we are representing ourselves. And there's an expectation that we should look a certain way to be professional. And I have really been struggling with where that line is with professionalism and hair loss. Fortunately for the Black and African American community, there's the Crown Act, which finds that women, Black women particularly, cannot be discriminated based on wearing their natural hair. And I love that the Crown Act exists. I am a white person though, and I don't benefit from that act necessarily. And I do have white privilege, right? And so I can leverage that. But what I don't have is a playbook for how to navigate hair loss in the workplace. I did find one book, and it was all about a bunch of strategies for hiding it and making sure your wig never falls off and making sure you feel confident with your wig and that no one ever knows. And I really didn't like that narrative. I'm not trying to hide my hair loss. It sucks. I used to have big, curly, red, luscious hair. It was part of my trademark and my brand and who I was. And it's a bummer that I lost it. But I don't want to hide that I lost it. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't need to be coming from a place of shame. And it reminds me of something called covering, and how we go into the workplace and we cover certain aspects of our identity. And that is energy lost on hiding who we are that we could otherwise be putting into our work. And so I don't want to spend time hiding the fact that I lost my hair whenever I could be instead having fun with it and using my wigs and my hair wraps as a way to express myself and bring some joy and bring some happiness into my work life. And so I just encourage those watching out there that are in leadership roles or HR roles. What can you do to create an environment that people don't feel like they have to cover aspects of their identity? They don't have to waste that energy covering up who they are, and they can instead put that energy into their work. So you might have seen me if you follow along my videos that I've been wearing different wigs. I've been wearing about a wig a week. A new friend gave me like 20 wigs. I have all these wigs to make my way through, figuring out what fits best for me. I like that I switch it up. I like, that I can express myself the way that maybe people wear different outfits or wear different makeup or jewelry. I just see this as another way of expressing myself. The way people have been responding has been really positive. People have said, "Oh, I love your hair," and sometimes I'll tell them it's a wig, sometimes I won't. I actually like saying that it's a wig because it feels more authentic to me, because it's not my hair. It's not what my hair used to look like, and I just want to own it and just own my wigdom and own that that's how I'm going to be portraying myself in the world moving forward. Um, and so I think the lesson is just what can we do to create workplaces where we all feel like we can show up as our authentic selves. It's not my fault that I lost my hair. And so I don't feel like it's just something I should hide or feel ashamed about. I will at some point bust out the bald head. I just wasn't quite ready for it today. But it's been a big lesson learned on authenticity, how to not cover up who we are in the workplace. And if you too are struggling with hair loss, just know I see you, I feel you. This is complicated and confusing, but just do what makes you happy, whether it's a wig, whether it's a hair wrap, whether it's going full out bald, whatever makes you feel most comfortable, that's the right answer, because we need to be in a workplace where everyone feels like they can bring their